everyone, and welcome to UBS Trending. I'm Bettina Dowdell. It's that time of year again when kids are going back to school. For some, it's their first time being away from home. How can you prepare them financially for this time in their lives, and how can you prepare yourself for them leaving? Joining me now is licensed psychologist and executive coach from Fidelity Center for Family Engagement, Dr. Jody Kochaisi. In her role there, Jody helps advisors, clients, and families learn how to connect in a deeper, more intimate way. Jody, welcome. So good to see you today.
Thank you for having me here today. I'm really excited for this.
Jody, one question for you. How should parents discuss managing money for those kids that have never had to deal with it on their own?
I think one of the things that can be helpful is to think about these conversations as developmental. And what I mean by that is that when we have conversations about money and finances with our kids, we're supporting our child's learning and growth, especially in the realm of finance. And it's important to talk with them from a place of mutuality, to be really curious about hearing their thoughts and perspectives, ask follow-up questions about that. And if we can, try and stay away from just telling them what they need to do, or again, kind of reducing the amount of times that we fall into the should and should not directives. And when we do that, what we are creating is a safe space for our kids to not only start to explore money conversations maybe for the first time in some cases, but also we're setting up a dynamic of how they're going to talk with us, going on throughout life. And this isn't going to be the last time that we have conversations around money with our kids.
Okay, well, I'm going to completely have to change my mindset because the first thing you said was to not tell them what to do. And as a parent, that's what I do to start. So what can you tell us specifically about credit cards? I mean, having one for the first time could be really liberating for them, but until they know how it works, but what should we be telling them?
I think one of the things that can be helpful is to start talking with them about how this is potentially a part of them transitioning to being a more independent individual. And, be proactive about these conversations. Talk with them ahead of time about how the card's going to be used. Is it just for emergencies, or is it going to be used for their everyday spending? How the card's going to get paid off. I mean, one of the things that I think parents sometimes don't do is they don't have these proactive conversations and set expectations up front. And then when the balance gets high or their kid calls them from school, that's when they're starting to deal with this. So doing some co-creation around those expectations from the beginning, it can be really helpful.
I think that's great advice. I think specifically talking about how it's going to get paid off is key.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that really parents have to think about is if their kids are going to be working, then that's one thing. If the plan is for their kids to just focus on being a student, then if there is going to be some things that they're covering, like what is that really going to look like, and how are they going to do that on a limited income? And again, even just having these conversations is something that can help parents and their children to get on the same page. And it's just normalizing that talking about money is something that is not only expected, but really, really helpful.
I think that's great advice. Now, on the personal side, any advice to parents or guardians about how to prepare children emotionally for being away from home for the first time?
I think one of the things that can be really helpful is normalizing for your kids that it's okay to have multiple feelings all at the same time. And to really validate the vulnerabilities that can come. It's okay to be scared to be going away for the first time. And I think sometimes in our culture, when we feel bad feelings, when we feel sad or worried or scared, we interpret that as there must be something wrong. We start to doubt our decisions, but that these feelings are inherent to change. And so even though there might be some scared feelings, there's also probably feelings of excitement and anticipation. And as parents can really just help to create space for kids to talk about these different feelings and validate and normalize it, it can really help kids start to process, what they're about to step into, and make them feel, more secure in what they're stepping into and more resilient.
It's so interesting because I'm thinking back to when my parents dropped me off at UVA, and I literally was running down to the dorms. I was so excited to be on my own for the first time.
Yeah. I mean, I had a very similar thing, and then I actually called my mom the first night and was like, "I made a mistake." And so I think sometimes those mixture of feelings will come up a little bit later. And so, for parents to not be surprised if a day in, a week in, a month in, you get that phone call where they're feeling homesick, or they're missing friends from back home, and they're wondering about their decision. Again, to just lean into the conversation, hear them out, ask them questions, help them process the feelings, and encourage them to just embrace this change, and really give them the permission to lean in.
Okay. Well, so what about the parents? How can they prepare for the emotional side of leaving their kids for the first time when they go to school?
I think this is very similar. I mean, I think with feelings, we can get really oversimplified, where we feel like we should just be feeling one feeling. So if we are excited that our kids are moving on, then when we start to feel a sense of loss, or anxiety or worry, then we start to doubt that we're being good parents. And so I think expecting that there's going to be layers of emotions that we feel, finding people in our lives that we can talk to about that, whether it be our spouse, friends, family members. I mean, one of the things that I think can be really helpful is for parents to find outlets for processing their feelings kind of independent of their kids. I worked for many years in college counseling, and I remember talking to a lot of kids who felt guilt or felt responsible that they were, had brought so much like pain and feelings of upset and sadness to their parents. So I think being intentional about what we share with our kids, like it's perfectly healthy and helpful to be honest that we miss them, but to also know that we need to get outlets for our emotions maybe someplace else, and to do that, and to know that it's all okay. Like, with any change, there's loss. And so it can be a change for the better. It can be something that we're really looking forward to. And there's going to be elements of loss. We're going to not have our kids in the house. We're not going to see them on a daily basis. Our relationship with them is going to change. And those potentially bring up feelings along the way. And if we can just be patient with our feelings and be compassionate and understanding, and know that once we talk them through and allow ourselves that space, we tend to feel better.
Wow, that is such great advice. My daughter is 9, so I can't even fathom dropping
Mhm.
her off, like even now, to her to
Yeah.
grammar school, right? So
Mhm.
I feel that I'm going to have to come back to this conversation in about 7, 8 years, so that I can fully
Yep.
prepare myself for that time.
Yeah.
Well, Jody, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been wonderful. And thank you for being with us today. For more information from UBS, visit our website at ubs.com/views. You can also follow us on social media platforms like LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Plus, you can find all UBS Trending episodes on demand on our website and on the UBS YouTube channel. As always, if you have any questions about your portfolio, please speak with a financial advisor. Until next time, I'm Bettina Dowdell. Have a great day, and remember to keep your eyes on what's trending.